All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Wake.
Yeah, no sound.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay, I think I hit the mute button. So welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Weekly Wake Up, where we don't edit anything. So if you came on here and you heard that, I accidentally hit the mute button, but we are here. I'm Jay Teagues. I'm got Tom Kayat with me this morning. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. You're supposed to mute me when I speak, not the other way around.
Yeah, I muted myself, which I'm sure there's probably people out there like, man, I wish that guy would mute himself more often.
For the closed caption comments.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's Monday, so here we are. So anyway, today's topic, every day is a victory. Every day is a victory. When I think about every day being a victory, I think about just gratitude. And I think there are periods in my life where I felt like I was just trying to survive, and just getting through the day was a victory. But I feel now having more gratitude, and I look through life through a different lens. And as I was running this morning and thinking about today's topic of every day being a victory, there's a quote or a platitude that I've seen and I've shared a few times. It's like I woke up this morning and I opened up 2 gifts, and they were my eyes.
Nice.
And I think about like the blessings that we have of just being here, having this opportunity to live on this planet and in this great nation that we live in, and just being very grateful. And happiness is derived directly from gratitude. So what are your thoughts about every day being a victory?
Jay, I'm a simple dude, man. If I've got the dog wagging his tail ready to jump up and say hello to me after he's seen me all night, like, what do you say about that? It's cute. It's exciting. I'm like, hey, my dog wants to see me. I look outside, the sun's shining, seeing the birds chirp. Just a simple guy appreciating the little things in life. Having a nice cup of coffee. It really comes down to gratitude. I don't worry about shit. Life's too short to worry about stuff.
Yeah. Worrying is trying to control things beyond your control. Worry is experiencing things before they even happen. Experience the negative impact, and it may not even happen. And you're caught up into that. And this is a very difficult habit to break. But when you have gratitude and you can detach from that and have some level of gratitude for what you have, it really does shift your mindset and shift your outlook in life in general.
Right. Now, understand totally. So it, meaning your mindset, you shift your mindset versus doing what is the exact opposite. For the first time in a while, I actually just got onto my phone here to take a look at the news. There's a funeral going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Queen Elizabeth, her funeral's going on. That's the headline. Then I've got Texas business owner forced to sell family barbecue shop after migrant breaks in. And like, man, the damn migrants. And you're looking at here, America's all volunteer military is slowly dying. Dangerous decline is the title. Like, God damn, that doesn't sound good. And I've got another one. Mayoral candidate does not feel safe in her own city. I'm like, shit, man, there's crime going on. And all of a sudden, I just put myself in a bad state in 1 minute looking at the headlines.
It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long to be like, man, this world's going to hell in a handbag.
Yeah, 1 second my dog is wagging its tail, happy to see me. I look at the birds and I'm drinking my coffee. The next minute I'm pissed off about migrants and crime and inflation. It's like, fuck, this is going to be a shitty day today.
The world's going.
The problem.
Well, when I was listening to, I used to listen to talk radio on my way to work. I'd get so angry about what's happening in Washington, D.C. It would ruin my day. I'd go in and be like, slam my papers on my desk. Like, did you hear what the president did today? The Iranians, did you hear North Korea is testing another nuke?
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't stop. And if it's not that, it's some kind of environmental concern, the Ebola or the fires in Brazil. It's always something.
Good Lord,
it's always something. Yeah. And then that gratitude's out the window. It's done because you've been programmed to follow this shit. In the meantime, they've got their agenda. The bigger the sensation, the more ad revenue they can make. and we get sucked into it. How can you not?
Yeah, it's all designed that way. But when you're in deep gratitude, this is one thing I learned from Tony Robbins. When you're in deep gratitude, like you're truly grateful for something, even if you're in a foul mood, if you're truly grateful for something, it will pull you out of that mood, because your mind will start to think back to the happiness around whatever it is that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And it pulls you away. So it's a Jedi mind trick. When you're getting pissed off, just detach from everything, close your eyes, and really think about a person or a situation. Go relive a moment, or maybe it's something like benign, something that you take for granted. You actually think about, you know what? There's people like my right hand. I'm right-handed. My right hand enables me to do so much in my life. There are people out there that have lost their right arm and they don't have their right hand anymore. And so having gratitude for the things that the simple things in life that make your life so much more effective, because it's oftentimes when you lose something that you took for granted is man, it's like, man, I wish I could get that time back. Or just think of a loss of life that you've experienced, like that. Once that person's gone, like they're not coming back. Like, I'm grateful for the moments that I did have with them. So yeah, gratitude is it's a disciplined practice, if you will. It takes effort to practice gratitude, but it makes all the difference in the world.
I would have that written down someplace where that's the first thing you do. You have gratitude for whatever's going on in your life, and then start your day like that. And like you said, that takes practice. It takes practice to just, number one, be aware that you're supposed to be doing that every day, and then start doing it and see how life changes for you. It's a big difference, man.
So I'm on this Psychology Today. It's a great resource for psychology topics. I'm looking up gratitude and why gratitude matters. It says here, psychologist finds that over time, feeling grateful boosts happiness and fosters both physical and psychological health, even among those already struggling with mental health problems. Studies show that practicing gratitude curbs the use of words expressing negative emotions and shifts inner attention away from negative emotions as resentment and envy, minimizing rumination. I tend to ruminate on things. If I get pissed off about something, I'll ruminate and stew on it, which is a hallmark of depression. Gratitude, people who are grateful feel less pain. They have less stress. They suffer less insomnia. They have stronger immune systems, experience healthier relationships, and do better academically and professionally. And overall, it'll boost your mental and physical health.
Mm-hmm.
So there's direct benefits of practicing gratitude,
100%.
And it's incredibly important.
Yeah, 100%. What do you ruminate on? That's what I was wondering about. What have you ruminated on in the past?
Man, if I get so here's something that I've been currently dealing with, and I'm actively practicing gratitude with, is I tend to be a worrier, probably bad habit over years of being in just traumatic childhood, probably some traumatic experiences later in my life, not handling things very well, but worrying about when I leave the military for good, when I finally retire, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it out there in the civilian world, and worrying about like that change of lifestyle. And I think, there are a lot of people that go through that big transition, and it's not just military, it's people from one career to the next, but that losing that identity, going into the unknown, facing some uncertainty will drive people kind of crazy. And it definitely, and I have to be very careful with that. So that's one of the things that I tend to worry or ruminate on, is the fact that I'm not going to make it. But that's why the practice of gratitude and detaching, I have to do it daily, or my mind will wander to that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the first thing is losing your identity.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Well, for me, the military is something I've done since I was 17 years old. And even before then, I knew that I was going to join the military. So, being a part of something greater than yourself, being a part of a team, there's a very uncommon camaraderie that we have. Like, we speak a certain way. We have a certain set of values that's unlike, what you experience in other aspects of life. Not that you can't find it, but it's just like That uniform means something, right?
Yeah.
Waking up and working toward a purpose. And I'm losing that. And that's scary. And I worry about that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Are you will you always continue to serve in some capacity or another?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So you've got years and years, decades of experience that has prepared you for the next step in your life. To me, you're still serving.
Well, I'm glad that you bring that up, because when I was super worried about it, and I was actually sitting there like with my packet, like, because you gotta essentially apply to get out. You have to go through this process of your retirement. I was sitting there for a couple of days, like, man, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to go through? Is it time? And I'm glad that you said that, because when I talked to one of my mentors, we talk a lot about talking to mentors, but when I talked to my mentor, that's exactly what he helped me see, is that what are the things in the military that you truly appreciated? And do you believe that you can continue to serve beyond that? And I did. It was the coaching, mentoring, and leadership aspect of it that I truly am passionate about. And I'm like, yes, I can continue to do that. And I can take these experiences with me. It's not like I'm just throwing it all away, right? And so I appreciate you saying that, because that's absolutely right. There's continued service.
Jay, I have a feeling you and I have a very similar upbringing in some ways. And I look at you and I think if you put you and I in a room, people would gravitate more to you than me, because you're just a nicer guy. You're just a nicer guy. And the reason why I bring this up is this. You're talking about this identity with the military. They've quickly forgotten about you. You're just a number. You're done. No bon voyage. Good luck to you. Is kind of like you were done. And to me, you're a nice guy. To me, I'm like, in a way, you're like, fuck you. You didn't even fucking recognize me. After all these years of service, I was just a number. And it's the same with my school teaching. When I was teaching and I retired, they deleted me off the board records, and I never heard from them ever again. And then when I was asking for they call it a T4 slip to do my taxes, I had to prove who I was. It's like, guys, I've been around for 25 years with your board, and it's like you don't even remember me. And to me, that dark side of me says, fuck you. It's like this identity shit. It's like, I'm going to carve out my own identity and keep serving in whatever capacity I am. You ask people, what do you do for a living? Or people say, I'm a teacher. Or they say whatever, I'm a fitness coach, or I'm a bodybuilder, or I'm a dad, or whatever they say. They're usually defined by their occupation. To me, I don't even look at it that way. I just serve people, man. I just serve people. That's all I do. So that identity thing, I think when people get this mindset where they're just out there to serve their family, do good things, life becomes get a little more gratitude in your life, because you're doing great.
Yeah, that what you said about just being a number. I mean, I just thought of a post last week that I saw someone like, oh, I did X amount of years in the Army, then X amount of years as a DA civilian with the Army, and I got nothing, so they can all, and that's tough when you invest that many years of your life, and you have that feeling. You're walking away from that with that feeling, right? I'm reading a book called What to Do Next by Jeff Henderson, and it's a really good book on transition. And one of the key takeaways that was really helpful to me is, despite how the organization may treat you or feel about you, you still need to show up and walk with your head held high and control what you can control as you exit the organization, because that will set you up for the next chapter of your life. So if you feel like you've been wronged or the organization doesn't care about you, it's okay. But what can you do? And one of the strategies he mentioned is like, okay, right before he got out, or right before he left his organization to go to the next, he wrote everyone a handwritten thank you.
Yeah.
And, nice. And he left with gratitude and made sure everyone knew that he was grateful for the opportunity. Because, in the day-to-day, when you have a large organization, oftentimes it's not that I don't know, it's an operation. They're still like, it's just busy, right? And I think about one of the 4 agreements: don't take things personally. And that's hard to do. It's hard to do when you've invested so much of your life into something, but control what you can control and walk with your
big
head
time.
held high. And as I think about, as my exit, I thought about that. I'm probably writing a bunch of handwritten notes, thank you notes to those that I served with.
Yeah. Now, Jay, I understand when I say, hey, fuck you to the organization, the only reason why I say that is because if I'm hurt by the fact that I've lost my identity, it's just easier to say that and just shake my mind up a little bit and say, okay, get over it. It's done. It's done. Let's move on. Now, here's the thing, Jay. I know this is what you can do. You can probably, at this point, go out and do a food drive, help at the homeless shelter, go to a sick kids hospital. You could fill your day with amazing things. You can do that all day long and go, wow, what a day. I really made a difference today in so many different areas. But I think the challenge is people won't do that because they're expecting something in return. And rightly so. You can't give up 40 hours and not get something in return, like a paycheck or something, unless you're multi-millionaire. So the reality is we can get gratitude very easy, but we do expect a payback in return in some capacity. And I think that's where the challenge lies, because that's what you're looking for. I want to do something where I'm making a difference, but I'm also being paid handsomely. Yeah. And that's where people struggle. Like, fuck, I did all this stuff for this person. I got nothing in return. And that's the balance.
Yeah, that's hard. And we have a desire to feel appreciated. And it's usually the number one reason people leave organizations, because they haven't felt appreciated. And that's a challenge for a lot of people. And some of the best companies to go work for is because they appreciate their employees more than others, and so appreciation is incredibly important.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even beyond that, Jay, if you go to a food drive and give 40 hours of your time, they're going to appreciate you without a doubt. Chances are you're going to be bitter because you got nothing in return if you kept doing it day after day and you were struggling paying your bills. So there has to be a payoff. And I think that's where people struggle. It's like, I want gratitude, but I also want something in return. I want a better quality life. I want to be able to serve my family better. And that's where people struggle.
So what advice would you give someone that's in that scenario that they're feeling that conflict?
I think you got to give some thought to what you can do to make a difference and get that return on your investment. Yeah. That's the challenge. Yeah. What am I going to do that allows both to happen?
Yeah. Well, I've got some tips here for fostering gratitude. How do you cultivate it? How do you create it? Some of these things I employ, but one of the biggest ways to do this is keep a journal. Keep a journal and write down, consistently, regularly, like what you're grateful for. Maybe it's this little note about something you appreciated for the day. And something that we do, that I do for my coaching clients, one of the first things I always ask them, what was your win? What was your win for the week? Whether that be in the group or one-on-one, let's celebrate your win. What was the win for the week? And everyone usually sits for a minute and they think about something. What's cool about that is you get to relive that moment, whatever that was for you. My win for the week, I had my coaching call with my coach this morning. Hey, I got married on Friday, and for a moment, I got to relive that whole experience. One of the best days of my life, and I got to relive that just by thinking of that grateful moment. And it could be little things, could be these big events in your life, but what are you grateful for? And then journaling about that, and then writing it. There's something powerful about taking pen and paper out and writing things down. Writing down, 3 good things. Identify 3 things that you're grateful for. Maybe they're people, maybe they're events, maybe it's something that you have. And I would challenge people, when you do this on a day-to-day basis, to think of something different each day, even the things that may feel a little bit more mundane. Writing a thank you note to others. When I receive a thank you note from someone, it feels really freaking good. It feels amazing. We got some cards, from the wedding and whatnot, and seeing people actually because people don't do that anymore. They don't take the time to pull out pen and paper and write down their thoughts to you, but it feels really, really good. And so writing a thank you note to someone. Think about people who have inspired you and what about them inspires you. Maybe you can connect the dots on that. And then another strategy is engage in mental subtraction. Imagine what your life would be like if some of these positive events in your life hadn't happened, or some of the things that you take for granted, like we talked about a little bit ago. Like if I didn't have my right hand, how much more difficult would my life be? What are some gratitude tips that you could think of?
I think it starts with the beginning of the week. This is how I see things. I've got a couple of key areas at the beginning of the week that if I accomplish them, by the end of the week, this is not a wins by default. This is wins by design. So one thing that has to happen is I'm working on my body. I got 3 killer workouts this week that if I make progress with those workouts, never mind how I look at the end of the week, if I make progress, I'm going to be really happy.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, we're redoing our garden. I've got these beautiful bushes that we're buying that we're putting into the flowery bushes we're putting into the backyard. I am so excited about that. I'm not a gardener, but that's going up this week. And at the end of the week, I'm going to look at it and go, man, this looks really nice. This looks really beautiful. I can enjoy my backyard even more. I've got some phone calls that I'm going to make to my kids where I'm going to connect on the deepest level. And we're going to joke around. We're going to chat it up. And I'm looking forward to that. And I've got some key calls from people who want to hear from me. I want to guide them. I want to get them to the next level. I'm going to meet up with these people. I'm going to chat with these people. And then by the end of the week, I'm going to say, I gave them a game plan to really kick ass in life. Jay, that week started yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It started yesterday with the plan. Here's my plan. If I do all of these, it's going to be an awesome week by the end of the week. And I'm going to enjoy the journey along the way. So I can look at my phone and I can focus on the migrant situation and the prices of gas and all that, or I can focus on my own business. And I'm like, man, I'm a vehicle for change. I'm grateful that I have this opportunity. I'm jacked up. I'm completely jacked up about this week. I cannot wait for the message I'm going to send somebody to help this person out. I cannot wait for the phone call I've got with another client on Wednesday. I can't wait to talk to my kids today. I am so excited about that.
I love it.
Yeah, to me, I'm pumped up because it started Sunday night, and I know you do this with the team, with the Forge. You get them focused for Sunday, and then they execute their plan so that on Friday, their wins are not default wins. Well, yeah, this happened to me. No, this was by design, and this is what we did. That's my advice to people. Write it down and pursue something worthwhile. And
yeah, we bookend the week, right? You start with intention, and like you said, you identified all of the tasks that are meaningful and important, connecting with the kids, connecting with clients. You have a plan it's amazing when we create something as simple as gardening, right? And you create that, or it could be wrenching on a car, it could be a project in your, whatever that is. Creating this awesome frame of a body that I have, right? That creation and the work that goes into that and seeing that blossom is incredibly powerful. Connecting with your purpose, because as soon as you go into Monday, you're going to get bombarded with distraction and things that are taking you away from that. But when you're intentional and you're focused on the things that matter, you put that other BS aside, and you're gonna be more grateful and you're going to be happier. But it takes some level of intentionality. And then Friday we come out, it's finished Friday, we flex our wins. Like, what do we accomplish? And how can we go into the weekend with intention? And having that rhythm and having a team of people that think that way is very powerful.
Yeah, just imagining combining intention and gratitude.
Yeah, intentionality and gratitude. It's easy to do, but it's also easier not to do. And the forces out there that are pulling your attention and focus away are pretty damn powerful. And that's why I truly believe we have so many miserable people and so many people that are struggling with their mental health, because they have not created the habit or they sustain the consistency in doing that. I know I feel better when I'm far more focused on my gratitude and attention. And it takes work. It takes work for me to do these things because I get sucked up into the worry and rumination of things. That's just years and years of bad mental habits.
Yeah. Now understand something too. We had our air conditioning in our kitchen, quote unquote, breakdown. I'm like, fuck, man, I got to call the repair person again. Let's try to fix this. What's going on here? I'm a little bit pissed off about it. For 3/4 of a day, I'm pissed off about it. Like, this is not cool. There's no air conditioning. It's not that big of a deal. Sure enough, my wife goes to the control room and turns on the breaker, because that's all it was. Turns on the breaker, the air conditioning is working again. I'm like, why did I get myself up in a tizzy here about this air conditioning when all it was the fucking breaker?
Yeah.
Right. And then I look at some of the people in this community who have no air conditioning and they're struggling through the heat and they don't complain. So again, it comes down to, what are you grateful for?
Yeah. I remember earlier this year, my dishwasher broke. Same thing. Threw an epic fit. Like, oh my God. It's just the timing of it. It's just one of those things you take for granted, right? You just always expect the dishwasher to work. But these things break. And man, I initially got bent out of shape about it. And I'm like, okay, I live in, this is a first world problem, right?
Big time. Exactly. But you are the dishwasher. You do it by hand. Do it by hand. A lot cheaper. A little manual labor. Nothing wrong with that.
It's crazy.
I don't know, man. I think people just need a bit of a wake-up call, and that's why we have these calls, and just say, I didn't think about that. That's a good idea. Mm-hmm. What's my intention this week? What's really important to me? Let me focus on that. Let me pursue this with a bit of gratitude for what I do have, and let's see how this all plays out. And that's it. And I think when people are conscious of this and they eliminate some of the negative distractions, they're so much further ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's why every day is a victory when you just, you wake up in the morning with your two gifts, you open up your eyes, and just having some level of gratitude makes every day victorious. And we need to be intentional about how we live and have gratitude for what we have and not get so caught up in distraction. That's where you're going to find more happiness, because that's what, going through life being miserable, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It doesn't have to be that way. Don't get caught up.
You notice the people who are miserable. There's a lot of people who are miserable who wear that badge on their shirt, and they let everybody know.
Yeah, how miserable they are.
Sympathy. You've seen people like that, right?
Oh, I know people like that. I think I got the list of people on the top of my head. They just they revel in it, like they embody it, they embrace it, and it's like, that's just a shitty way to live.
Really shitty. It's unfortunate. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Who's getting the shirt today?
All right. So this week, let me share my screen here. This is, here we go. 1, 2, 3. This is Matthew Wilson. And he is this week's Do Hard Things Nation Spotlight winner. And what he accomplished. So I've been working with Matthew. Well, I've worked with him. We served together in the Army. We went to officer candidate school together and the engineer basic officer leadership course. And I've been his running coach. And yesterday he ran a trail half marathon. And when he ran it a few years ago, he ran it in 2 hours and 39 minutes. Yesterday, he crushed it, running it in 1 hour and 48 minutes. So nearly an hour faster, just due to him showing up, working diligently, doing all of the runs. And and he crushed his goal, and he ran an 8:17 pace. And I just want to congratulate him for putting in the work. And when you put in the work, and I just kind of craft the workouts for him. He shows up every day. He lives up north, up in Minnesota, and it's cold up there, and the weather conditions aren't always optimal, but he showed up and he did the work, and he got a fantastic result from his efforts. So this week's winner is Matt Wilson. He's there with his lovely wife, Christina. Awesome dude. And just a remarkable work that he put in this weekend. So
yeah, look, he looks happy in those pictures.
Absolutely.
Guy's achieving things. He's got a beautiful wife. It looks healthy.
Yeah. He's connected with his wife. He's out there doing hard things. When you're up in the mountains, just living life, right? Getting after it, doing hard things.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, Matt. So that's a good time too.
Yeah. Fantastic. Really well. on a difficult course. So congratulations, Matt. Appreciate you. And see Mark Rono's watching. Hey, Mark is in Africa, so appreciate you tuning in, Mark.
What's Mark doing in Africa? Where in Africa is he?
I forgot what country he's in, but he's an avid runner himself. He's in a lot of the running community pages, so he's out there getting after it. So, Mark,
he's got a different time zone right now. He's probably watching this at night.
Yeah, he probably is. I think
Mark, you need to kick some ass, man. Kick some ass today, tomorrow. Do some good things, man. We want to hear from you.
Keep kicking ass.
I don't know who you are, but still, man. Cheers to you and kick some ass.
He's always out there getting after it. He's on a, what, Mark, are you still with us? What country are you living in? If you're there, post it. I'd love to, I need to double tap, but he's on a running team out there in Kenya or one of those teams.
Seriously,
one of those countries.
I gotta get down there, man. I gotta get down there one of these years in my life.
Yeah,
and
it's
go
definitely
and
on my
explore Africa. It's almost like the forgotten continent, but there's so much magic there, so much special. I don't know, man. That's one place I've got to go to. How about you?
Yeah, it's definitely on my bucket list of places to go. I'd love to go to South Africa. I want to go to Egypt. It's fascinating. You think about Africa being scary, right? And there's a lot of, but that's everywhere, right? If you listen to the news, you won't go anywhere because they definitely,
man,
in America,
less scary than some of the streets of America.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the world's pretty peaceful. So it's just a matter of getting out there. Well, hey, every day's a victory. If you want this shirt, go to dohardthingsnation.com. If you're ready to level up, you're ready to take your life to the next level, you want to explore what coaching is all about. High performance coaching. You can DM me and we can discuss one-on-one coaching. We have the Forge Mastermind community, which is a community of people that are getting after it. And we host a couple calls each week and ready to elevate your life. It's fundamentally transformed my life, which is why, created a group myself. And it's a family of people that are getting after it. So, and also you've got Tom here as well. So if you want to reach out to him and work with him and explore those options. But in the meantime, keep doing hard things, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
All right. Cheers. Have a good one, guys.